As we consider the future of education technology, let's pivot to AI's potential to transform education, a view from Google and the GSV AI team. Claire Zhao and Alexandra Argo, vice presidents at GSV, will lead a captivating interview with Amruta Joshi from Google Cloud on the transformative power of AI.
Hello, everyone. If you were here this morning, you probably saw Alex and me on the stage already. As you can tell, we come as a package and are joined at the hip on all things AI. But we are so excited to be here today, joined by Amruta Joshi. Dr. Joshi is Google Cloud's Global Director of AI Solutions. She's had more than 20 years of experience in data analytics and AI. And not only is she the global director for specialized AI solutions for cloud, but also advises Fortune 500 startups in their AI-focused innovations. Her journey has spanned everything from engineering to product to go-to-market functions, and she's managed teams across both the US and India. So we're so honored to have here today to discuss the future of AI in education.
Yeah, we're very glad to be here with this very diverse set of audience. I've been meeting people and coming from a very strong tech background, I always end up in conferences with all engineers. For a first time, I'm here and I'm really happy to meet the diversity of people here.
That's wonderful. So I guess just to kick us off, again, going very high level, obviously Google, massive player in the space around all things education and has been really active in the AI and education space. So just what are you most excited about as you think about the intersection of AI and education and then, Google's role that they can play in it?
Yes. So I've been in the AI space for a while. In fact, 20 years back, I was working on topic models. And at that time, it was not cool. It was like just another project that we were working on. I just feel that this is an idea whose time has come. We finally have the technology, we finally have the scale, we finally have the capability. And with that, we are going to see a transformation of every industry that embraces this tech. And EdTech is no exception. In fact, I would say EdTech is probably one of the early adopters of this space. So we're going to probably see a really big transformation here, right from access. I mean, the very first thing for education is access, right? So making our tools and information and skills and whatever things you want to communicate to your students, just making sure that all of the access is available in their own preferred language, at their own preferred time, in their own preferred geography. So access is going to be a really big deal. The second one is personalization. And no one person can define what personalization means for someone. So to be able to have that one-to-one experience for every single person in their learning journey, I think that's going to be another big theme that comes with AI and EdTech. The third one I would say is empowering educators. Really making sure that they are not spending their time on operational stuff or, grading exams, but really focusing on what is core to helping them be better at their jobs and really focus on the creativity and the development of the student. In fact, there is this experience we have from Google for Classrooms. So some of our products around Google for Classrooms saw a huge uptick in usage during the pandemic because all schools went offline and then they had to come back in this online mode. So we had these science teachers in the United States. There's just this one science teacher who wanted to make sure that their students absorb science concepts, and somehow that was not working. So she actually used some of the Google's AI tools to convert that text into a musical composition. And that song is what the students could memorize, relate to, and really understand that particular science concept. So, who is going to decide what is the right way to teach? Who is going to do that? It has to be a personal experience. And that's what I mean by personalization and empowering educators, is that now they will have the tools and the freedom to decide how they want to get through to their student population. So all of these things together, I think, will really revolutionize this space. And with all the great people here, we can all do it together.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what you're saying, right? It's tough to make personalization such a prescriptive thing when it is very kind of case-by-case basis. But obviously, Google, and I know we've talked about this, how you think really of Google as kind of the platform that will enable this. And so would love to just double click on that a little bit. How do you think with what you guys are rolling out from a platform perspective, from an AI perspective, can really empower some of this personalization?
Absolutely. So Google is really seeing our own role as a platform. A platform that all the other organizations, educational institutes, startups can use for building their own business, building their own vision on top. So for that, we have this end-to-end offerings. We have devices, whether it is Android devices or Chromebooks. In fact, there's a lot of focus on developing devices specifically for the education sector. So a lot of work on just the device and accessibility space. We have products like YouTube, which really makes content available, at scale, really making things easy. We have Google Workspace, which has Google Docs and Sheets, and a lot of students use that for in schools for collaboration. In fact, we have seen that students interact using Google's products like Docs well after class, after school hours. Normally, that collaboration was always limited to being in person, in class, and just being engaged. But we are now able to see that engagement beyond regular hours, not just beyond regular hours, but also measure it. You can also measure engagement now that it's all online. So Google is really giving you the platform with a whole suite of tools. But I really think that the vision about what can be done in education is for the whole diverse population across sectors to look at and to define.
So you've obviously worked across everything from Google's core consumer offerings and the business there, as well as accelerating growth now. And especially in this moment when we have a lot of startups in the audience, a lot of companies that are kind of trying to adapt in this AI moment. What are some challenges or opportunities that you see in the AI and education space? How should startups and also incumbents think about adapting to this moment?
No, that's a great question. Yes, the opportunity ahead of us is really big. The time is now, so everyone is excited. At the same time, there is a little bit of this sense of caution. Mm-hmm. So understanding our responsibility of making information available, the access aspect. Folks that will have access, that will take advantage of the AI wave will benefit, but the folks who will not be able to will seriously be left behind. So there is that responsibility of equity of access that we want to look at. Not just that, AI itself, that there are questions of fairness. There's so much training data that we are using that is learning all our biases, our decades and centuries of biases that we have built into our minds are now being scaled up at an AI level. So a lot of responsibility on that side, making sure that there is accountability in AI. In fact, Google is looking at a whole set of responsible AI principles where we are not only defining these principles, we're also working with governments. We're working with the EU, we're working with the US government to come up with some kind of a legal standing for what responsible AI would look like. Now, I think startups in this space are really creative in terms of everything that they can do, but we want to make sure that you also have access to our systems and platforms which will have the responsible AI checks built in, so that it's a little bit more of this guided development that comes into space.
And just to kind of double click on that development aspect, how are you all, do you have a framework in addition to this responsible AI framework just to think about safe and trustworthy development of AI?
Yes, absolutely. So one aspect is defining the rules. You say AI has to be socially beneficial, explainable, privacy constraints, security constraints, but how are you going to enforce it? Right? Even if you get governments to all agree on these things, how are you going to make sure that this actually works? And that's why, in addition to just defining the policy, Google is coming up with technological innovation that will be able to cross-check information, that will be, like things built on our platform will have those checks and balances built in. One example, I would say, we have image generation tools. And image generation tools have inbuilt watermarks. They're not visible to the human eye. But even if you take screenshots of pictures that are generated using our platform, our checking system will still be able to detect and say that, you know what, this is an AI-generated image, this is a fake image, this is a fake video. And things like that, I think it's the responsibility of the tech that is building, that is giving you the ability to generate, to also build in those checks and balances, so that there is some sense of fairness, some sense of authenticity, some sense of enforcing all of the principles that we stand by.
Yeah, I mean, so you brought up before thinking about, AI in different regions, and we talked about earlier how there was a slide that Claire and I brought up in our presentation around thinking about AI in each country and who's adopting different regulations and strategies. And as Google being a global organization, I'm curious if you guys are thinking about AI differently from country to country, and then also on top of that, like, do you see the developments differently in each country in terms of how startups are using it or using Google as a platform?
Absolutely. So I think there is a geographical element to how we are seeing this technology being embraced in ed tech across. But I think, like someone said earlier today, it's not just about country. I mean, country is one way of looking at it. It's also about the, say, tier 1 cities versus villages, right? So San Francisco and Bangalore may have more in common than, say, San Francisco and a really, really small town in Iowa. So there is also that element. And this tech really has that ability to encompass and address all of those different areas. Now, in terms of opportunity, we are really trying to fix the access problem. We are trying to make sure that our platform is making access to technology, making access to AI available globally, right? And then on top of that, we are hoping that educationists themselves can come up and build your startups, your next tech on our platform, and then take the impact beyond just access. So we're really looking at this as a partnership. Google is not like primarily into the education sector, but enabling the education sector and making our platform and access available to everyone. That's how we are looking at our role, whether it is making tech available in India or some smaller village in Africa. We're really trying to democratize the technology access.
Yeah, has there been any, use case or usage of, you talked about a story earlier, right, of a teacher. We'd love to hear more stories around maybe something that surprised you or was really exciting to you in terms of how people are using the Google AI platform.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you may have heard Google for Classrooms and Chromebooks being one of the primary business aspect for us when we were launching into the education sector in the US. You think about business, but you don't really always realize the social impact of some of these technologies. So in fact, after we launched, we quickly learned that Chromebooks are actively used in refugee camps. They're used in refugee camps across Africa for classrooms. So these are students who have no way to go to physical schools, but some of the donations that Google and even other organizations made, that just getting a Chromebook made that difference, Chromebook and a connection, made that difference that they could continue their education. So I was really touched by that, access to technology, and then educators and all these other organizations can take it from there. So I was really touched by that level of impact that tech could have on people's lives.
I guess touching on that just really quick, I know we're about to run out of time, but I think just given that you have this, massive 30,000 foot view of the entire AI sector, you've been in it for the last 20 years, lived through AI winters and now this inflection point. For our audience here, the startups and incumbents and just tech builders, educators alike, what are you most excited for in this moment? What do you think is the most exciting, innovation, whether that's in Google or outside of Google, that you're excited to see unfold over the next few years?
I'm really excited about the personalization. We have put students into buckets in the past. We have said, this is how you learn, this is what you do, and that has not worked for everyone. So what I'm really excited about is that this is going to equalize the playing field. It's going to provide access to everyone, and you can learn in a way that works for you. So for me, that is a transformational moment for all of us in EdTech, and really excited that we can be a part of that journey.
Yeah, that's amazing. I hope we see that too. So
Yes.
Thank you so much. Please give a round of applause for Dr. Joshi.
Thank you.